This broadcast is inappropriate for all ages right here on #WeAreMovieClub. It's time for Scary Movie Squad. Salutations, I am Cameron and I am conversation ready. This week we're going to talk about Idle Hands. Not necessarily a scary movie, but it's a comedy horror type flick. It's early Jessica Alba, Sawa, which I don't like from Final Destination. Seth Green, who I want to like a lot. Like, I just watched Can't Hardly Wait. I was real happy to see him, but it's always something about him that, like, I don't really care for. Vivian Fox, big conversation about her. She's changed back and forth a lot over her career. Usually always good, though. And then Jack Noseworthy, is that the other guy on this side? I think it is. He's the bigger guy out of the two Stony friends. Nope, that's not him. Who the fuck is that guy? He's the Satanist friend that they have. So who am I thinking of? Holy crap. Where's Fat Friend? Nub Eldon Henson? Yeah, Eldon Henson's who I'm thinking of. He's the bigger guy out of the two friends. He plays Foggy Nelson on Daredevil. And Jessica Jones, so the new Netflix type series. He's in the Hunger Games as Pollux. Yeah, he's been in a lot of stuff for quite a while. He's been acting since the 80s. No, I'm not going to say like he's in a lot of things, but he's noticeable when he's there. Kind of like when you see a guy that used to be called Donkey Lips on a show, you know, he stands out. But let's get on with the movie. Let's see. It's back in the when was this made? 1999. So back when we thought fucking long, stupid credit sequences were funny, which is kind of what like Deadpool references when they're doing it. So there's one of those, opens on parents' bedroom, the lights go out, she screams, dad checks, mom checks, she finds blood all over the floor, like, they're just running all over the house all crazy, and it turns out, that, like, even if she's calling 911, like, there's stuff happening, something pulls her under the bed, and the camera pans up to, show on the ceiling, I'm under the bed. Kind of ridiculous, and the whole time they're yelling about Anton. You're like, who's Anton? And a couple times they go for the attic, like the little pull down door thing. So I'm assuming the next day in the attic, idiot Anton wakes up. Turns out it's their shitty kid who just didn't wake up to them screaming literal bloody murder. There's a cat in the kitchen licking up blood. Anton's a dick, but Anton's out of weed, so that takes priority. What little he notices. Now, granted, this is supposed to be typical high school kids, and yes, he has experience, or we have experience with him doing this from Final Destination, which, let's be honest, is much more of a clever movie than this is. But just the same, you think, I don't know. So, he goes to, the basement to get more pot. Okay, so, I'm sorry, he goes to his friend's basement to get more pot. Turns out he likes a girl. His friends kind of push him into having him confront that. Over at her house, he returns a book that she dropped. Very poorly. He's just asses and elbows. Those are the... I don't know. I can't remember exactly how poor it is, but even in my memory, like as fuzzy as it is, it was a little bit ago. He's just such an idiot about everything. So, at some jail somewhere, they did a really bad transition job on this. This black nun got there too late. That's really all we get out of it. In the van, she's tracking something. She draws a pentagram on a map because those were the sightings. And apparently, like, things like to be clever like that. You gotta think of demons like serial killers. Like, they want to be caught, even if they can't be caught. But they want attention for what they're doing. I don't know. It's too human of a thing. You'd think people who were that smart to get away with things would just be like, oh, I'm getting away with it. I enjoy that. But supposedly it takes the fun out of it. That's what real serial killers have said. It's more fun of a game when there's actually a chance of being caught, even though they're too smart and they get away with it over and over again. So whatever. She drives off on the street. The cops are fucking with Anton for whatever reason. Anton goes home, smokes weed. Who knows where he got it from? If I remember right, they were out of weed in the basement. And so they were talking about like mixing oregano and shit. And so I think that's what he was trying to smoke, and it didn't go well. So he makes a sandwich. For some fucking reason, like, and the movie could have started right here. Right here. Like, literally, just start with some idiot making a sandwich. We didn't need anything before this. None of the establishing shots for friends or characters or that there's a murderer on the loose. We don't give a fuck about any of that. Start the story. We'll catch up, because if you just do things like use people's names and talk about the situation like you normally would, you get a little bit of context, and then the movie gets started, and 10 minutes in, you're okay. But he uses a steak knife, like, for some reason. He doesn't grab, like, a butter knife out of thing. He grabs a knife off the counter and the thing that's big, sharp, and used for, like, hacking up steaks to, like, put peanut butter on his sandwich, and it has blood all over it, so it's going to make the sandwich really tasty. And sure enough, the cat's eating an eyeball. I'm worried about this cat, because that cat likes human parts way too much. So not only do they have this homicidal cat, but they've got this idiot dog, and he's literally pushing the dog around the house on its butt, to force it to investigate with him, looking for his parents. And he freaks out a lot, because, quite frankly, why not? But he knocks over these mannequins that he happens to have in the living room, which, doesn't everyone have mannequins in their living room? But they have like pumpkin heads and stuff. So, but apparently they're his dead parents. Shock, shock, shock. So it's really dumb. It's kind of sad how dumb it is. But his friends drop by, and they're idiots too. So they completely miss the dead parents. Kid beats on the dad, claiming it's CPR, which is always funny. It's my water. Oh, you idiot cat. You guys have water. They find ripped fabric that matches Anton's shirt. They find A&T written in blood. Anton thinks he's the killer, but he must be crazy, right? But of course, thinking that, Anton shoves a bottle into his friend's head. But seems very surprised that he did that. Anton acts innocent to the other friend, and the hand... It becomes clearer and clearer it's the hand acting. The hand attempts to get him. It chases him around the house to the basement. And what was it? Oh, yeah. So it's this whole, like, really just Scooby-Doo cartoon thing happening. Anton's, like, tackling his hand. Fat kid runs up the... feel bad, but it's the joke, I'm sure. Runs up the steps. Anton heaves a ripsaw blade up the stairs at him. Which... No idea where that blade went after that, but an incredibly strong throw for a hand, just a hand, mind you, for it to cleave completely through his neck, including the spinal column, and behead the guy. So, great first act of the movie. Really, really nice, solid job there. Honestly, if we're looking at traditional writing standards, it does hit the marks. It checks the boxes. It establishes characters, motives, the problem, whatever the conflict. It does all those things. It just does them in a really weird ass way. So Anton freaks out. He, of course, tries to watch TV. Is this before or after he buries his friends? Oh no, yeah, this is way before. Wow, I don't know what this is. He goes to watch TV. He fights with his hand about it. Because his hand wants to watch, like, Skinamax or something. And he wants to watch, like, nature documentary, something like that. And then the cat shows up, and his hand throws it out the window. He goes looking for the cat. He ends up over at Jessica Alba's house. His hand presses the doorbell. And then he knocks himself off the porch. So again, very poor interaction with the pretty girl. And it's Jessica Alba, so like, yeah, give it to him, even if that's, I mean, if that's your thing, that's your thing. Like, I get it. But she flirts pretty aggressively with him. He lies, he avoids. They end up going upstairs anyways. So it really shows from this movie that it doesn't matter if the guy's interested or not. The woman has the choice in the situation. Maybe. I don't know. There's also a demon-possessed hand in this movie, so we can only take the information that we learned so far. So up in the bedroom, the hand's grabbing her ass. It tries to choke her. He ends up tying it up because he's kinky. I think they bang. It seems very plausible that they bang. But her parents come home. He leaves. So, of course, the natural order of things to happen, he finally goes home and buries his family and friends in the backyard in about 6 inches of dirt. No, not enough. Not enough. I know you got 4 bodies to bury, but not enough. His friends end up becoming zombies, and they knock him out. And he wakes up in his bed, thinking it's all a dream. He goes downstairs, and his friends are undead on the couch. At this point, I went to go get some food, so I may have missed some stuff, but who cares? Just conversation about being dead, I'm sure. So Anton interrupts his, I think it's his Satanist friend, funeral crashing, to pick up chicks, of course, because funerals are hot. We all know that. It's not a surprise. So Anton ends up breaking into the fast food place and impersonating the fast food employee on the drive-thru menu to get his Satanist friend to give him advice. And his advice is to stay busy. Idle hands are the devil's playthings, right? Ooh, so keep the hand busy with other things that aren't so stabby. It's more of a metaphorical thing, but whatever. Because his hand's already possessed. So I think he ends up taking the next best thing, because he starts knitting. The cops investigate Anton's house. They shoot the headless guy. Anton tries to surrender, and he ends up, I think his hand ends up killing him with knitting needles. He freaks out. And then he tries to cut his hand off with a bagel slicer. I'm sorry, that is not the weapon of choice I use for dismemberment. I'm just saying, there's sensible approaches. It's not one of them. Let's see. So what ends up happening? I'm trying to remember exactly how they cut it off, because they do cut it off. He tries to use a cleaver, but like it dodges him. And so he has Headless bite down on it to hold it in place, and he chops the hand off. They cauterize it with an iron, and the head escapes with a note. Jessica Alba shows up. He finds the hand, it jumps him, he microwaves it, which was a nice touch, honestly. Just as Jessica Alba's coming in, he gets out, they leave for the dance, and his friends come back with supplies. Like, they wanted to go get antiseptic and stuff. They're good friends. They wanted to take care of their buddy. They're just not the brightest guys, because they don't notice all the crap everywhere. They don't manage to look at the microwave before they use it, which is fine, because some people don't. But they do end up letting the hand out to heat up their food that they just got, which doesn't make any sense. If you get Taco Bell, it's usually served pretty warm. I'm assuming that's what they got, because that's probably what I would have got. That's what I'm saying there. But the hand jumps out, bolts through the window, and takes off into the night. So for whatever reason, the Satanist, this is such a weird side storyline. The Satanist meets the bounty hunter at a bowling alley. So I don't know why that's a thing, but it is. And then Anton and crew leave the dance to hunt the hand. And they hit the bounty hunter with the Satanist's truck, because they end up stealing his truck for whatever reason. In the car, so at the dance, the hand's making its way to the dance. The hand ends up killing some Kiss enthusiasts that are making out in a car. Because you need collateral damage. Oh, Kiss. It's amazing how often something comes up once you notice it. So I just watched Role Models again last night. Weird. At the dance, the zombies go dancing because why wouldn't you? It's a Halloween ball. Make the best of it. The hand's obviously in the building. It kills a teacher that's jerking off. Who knows why or what he's jerking off about, but apparently that's what was happening. The bounty hunter ends up finding Anton, tries to kill him because he has the demon hand. On stage, Anton tries to warn everybody. The hand starts killing the band. Everyone panics and runs. We get to this cool scene with the duck. Now, like, I don't know why this is a thing in this movie, but there is, what was her name? Jessica Alba's dressed as an angel this whole time, and the devil girl, who I thought was cuter, Sumi, is it Kelly Monaco, is dressed as a devil, which I thought was funny. That, like, they're friends, but like, oh, you dressed as an angel, you dressed as a devil, ha 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 ha. It's the kind of fucking stupid high school shit they would do. And she has a whip for some reason, which I thought was a nice touch. Idle Hands Tiffany. So if Tiffany's who I'm talking about, that's Kelly Monaco. Tanya maybe? Katie Wright? Who's... I don't even know which one Katie Wright is in that picture. Why? Why do you... I don't know. Anyways. Hopefully not her. Anyways. It's an interesting scene in the duck. They crawl through like a vent to get away because if they're hidden, maybe like they won't be found. It's actually a good tactic in general, except for that if anyone were to come in to rescue everyone, they wouldn't be found either. But they come to this spinning blade thing, which I think they've stopped doing by this point in the present day of 2018. But this was 1999, yeah, so why not? So they grab one of their shoes and shove it into the fan to keep it from spinning, which is really clever. And then they use the devil's whip to slide down, but the devil girl starts panicking for no reason. Really, no reason. It doesn't even look like it's full floor ceiling to floor. It just looks like, I don't know, like it looks like Jessica Alba could reach up and touch her almost. But even if you were to drop 10 feet, just drop the 10 feet and get the fuck on. But the hand ends up showing up and hanging her with her own whip, and then knocks the shoe out of the fan, so that the fan ends up coiling up the whip and then dicing her as she comes up. To be honest, it would only dice her head, and then the body would fall down. But I'm a physics nerd like that. So Jessica Alba runs into some room. She's hit over the head. And they really use punch up on the owl. It was really, really bad. It's why I put it in the notes. It's just... So the movie's pretty funny throughout the entire thing, but some things are funny because they're bad, and that's one of them. So in the classroom, the hand dresses up as an evil clown, which I thought was really funny, because they must have run out of special effects budget at some point. And they're like, well, what can we do to fix this? What if the hand ended up crawling inside a puppet? Then we wouldn't have to animate the hand. So, like, it's a really neat solution, honestly. But somehow it manages to tie Alba to the roof of a car in the workshop class, which my school never had one of those, so whatever. It's being lifted to the ceiling, and there's a pentagram on the ceiling for kicks. So I don't know if they're gonna devil porter hole through or just smush her, which is gonna ruin that pretty pentagram. Let's be honest. The idiot friends end up taking a pot break. I think the quote was, "I needs my spinach," making a Popeye reference. So this is a movie, so we're going back 19 years to go back another 10 years to make a joke. At least, because I think Popeye technically was from the 70s, but he had a good run in the 80s and 90s. Or late 80s, 90s. So they end up hotboxing the hand inside his little puppet suit. Which the other neat thing that they do is that they have the puppet exchange or make new faces. Like it makes expressions on the puppet's face based on how the hand's feeling, which is hilarious to itself. I would really enjoy that in like a kids show or something where it's like, oh, here's Saki, and Saki, oh, how are you feeling? And then it's just like a big old smile on Saki's face. And then Saki gets hit on the head and it's the spiral eyes. That sort of thing. So Alba is all the way nose to ceiling like this. The bounty hunter runs in to kill the hand. She throws this ceremonial crooked dagger thing, and the hand poofs out of existence. She doesn't lower or anything. Like, they managed to stop it somehow, like, right there. And it's just physically impossible how they get her off of there. Like, no one was thinking continuity at all. They were like, they have him go to help her. They yell, cut. They remove the ropes, slide her out, and then put her in a position to look like she's climbing off. And none of it looks good. It's honestly distracting. I'm not even being picky. I'm just kind of like, what the fuck just happened? It's really like you saw him in a McDonald's, and then the next scene's in a Burger King. It's like that. But they make it out, or they make out afterwards, because that's what you do. Oh, at this point she's in her underwear too, because as they were trying to save her, her dress ripped off. So if you like that sort of thing, there you go. But the idiots are high now, and they're undead zombies, and they're idiot teenagers. So, like, we're just compounded. So, of course, they've got to do something. So, they drop the car on Anton, and he dies. Whoops. So, heaven comes for the zombies. Because I guess murdering Anton was a good thing they did. No, but going through all their endeavors as undead, helping and not being selfish by killing and eating brains, maybe that's redemption. But we go to the hospital, and Alba's taking care of Anton, and he ends up seeing his friends as guardian angels. So they come back as ghosts, essentially. And so they end up turning out under the light, or they turn out the lights on their way out to go get him a snack or something. And then on the ceiling is written, "I'm under the bed." And so as they're walking away, they're like, "You're right, he really does scream like a girl." That was a good joke, by the way. So they may be his guardian angels, but damn, are they going to torture his ass, because they're morons who think that sort of thing's funny. Again, not really a scary movie, but definitely like funny from beginning to end. I don't like Sawa. I'm trying to think about this, because I do like the Final Destination movies, and he's in most of those as the main character, at least like the first 3, and he does a good job. And I think it's just the amount of intensity his character's under the whole time, and he does a good job with that. But he doesn't necessarily do a fantastic job of being likable and just kind of generally funny and silly, which is what this movie needs. And so that role is a real tricky thing. So I think it was just, I don't think it's that he's a bad actor. I think it's that I don't personally like him, and that it was a difficult role to play, because it's very well written, but it has to walk a line, and he just didn't do that, I don't think. So, oh man, it came really close to being a bad movie club movie, but I'm kind of glad we watched it for Scary Movie Club, because Bad Movie Club has quite the lineup. We're going through all the old shitty comic movies that like back from the 70s and 80s too, but like all the ones that like just weren't nearly as well received as the current Marvel run, and especially the Spider-Man movies, eventually Fantastic Four. We'll get around to them, so join us over on Rabbit/Camera on Sundays. We'll just have to see what happens in the future here. Come back next Friday. What's next Friday? Oh yeah, Jennifer's Body was after this one. So we're still playing catch up. So until we see you next time, this has been We're in the Scary Movie Squad right here on #WeAreMovieClub. Want to see anything else we're up to? Go ahead and click the annotations and they'll take you to our other channels. Thanks for watching. Fuck beans. That was not supposed to be live. I don't care about the other ones, but these two.